like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, y'all, I'm back with another flashback. This video features Sibel, aka Mama Earth. Guys, I am still working on re-uploading all of my content back onto YouTube, adding my commentary so that I can meet the YouTube guidelines. This is why you guys are seeing so many flashbacks from my channel, but I can assure you that I'm staying on top of everything happening within carbonation. Guys, please be sure to drop me a comment, smash the heck out of that like button, and share. All right, y'all, let's get into this video.
Hi, guys. We are here to talk. We're here to have some serious conversation today. Okay? We're drinking a little bit of love, some strawberries, blueberries, watercress mint. Absolutely delish. Okay, Instagram is telling me to hold on, that they're letting my followers know that I'm online. Let me get my my chair so we can get up close. So, couple things that I want to talk about, right, today. I have a date actually. I have a date actually tonight at about let me say 4:30. So I have to get off at, I would say like maybe 3:30. Hello. Instagram is just informing everyone that I'm on live. I don't even know who is on and how. I can't see it. So there's a couple of things that have been going on in this dating world that I'm just so not familiar with. So I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and talk about this and keep it a whole buck, right? And the last month, August, was a very interesting month to say the least. Going on dates is quite an interesting process, okay? It is a very, very interesting process. And, you know, it's just pulled out so much from me. And I feel like it's a little bit all over. And, you know, of course, you talk to your friends and so forth. And let me arrange. Can you guys, everything's coming in clear, right? Just hold on, let me. All right. I'm just arranging myself comfortably. All right, good. Okay. All right. Thank you. So, right, there's just been so many things that have been coming up for me that I'm just unfamiliar with in this dating world. It feels like I'm unfamiliar with it, and it's just a whole new ball stream. So, just a couple of things that I've noticed within myself as far as wanting to even get out there and date starting now, and, you know, not being so tied down to my business and not being so locked into you know, my so-called spirituality, and allowing myself to really experience and enjoy more of the things of life that I actually desire, which is to have a person in my life, obviously, right? A happy marriage, right? What we all desire. And in that process, I've been meeting some really interesting people. And I keep telling myself, you know, just be open, just be available to spirit, to do what spirit does, so that you can actually learn some things, discover some things, discover people, discover different personalities, and also discover what is going on out here, right? What people are actually desiring. And, you know, before actually joining an app, a dating app, I was like, I'm not doing that, right? That's not my thing. I'm not into it. It's not in my spirit. I don't want that. I didn't want to be part of the whole dating app thing, online thing. I felt like it was cliche. I was like, no, I'm very old school. I want it to be traditional. You know, a man sees me and he's like, that's her, that's the one. And then he approaches and does what he does. The classic, you know, traditional way that it's done. But, you know, I've been strongly encouraged for months. Simple, just get online. Simple, just see, you know, just be open to what possibilities, and, you know, just hearing really good stories, personal friends of mine who have met, you know, amazing people on apps and really have had great results. And I said, all right, okay, I'm going to do it. And I did it for August. And it was a lot of fun, to say the least. I take it with a grain of salt. You know,
All right, y'all, go on ahead and drop me a comment, smash the heck out of that like button, and share. Thank you guys in advance.
a lot of interesting aspects for how women are these days, just men in general, and how they come at you when it comes to dating. I find that a lot of men nowadays want to be pursued. You know, it's like they actually want to be pursued by women. And I'm not sure if that's because the dynamics have changed so much with women and the boss movement and the feminism and whatever have you. But I'm a feminine woman completely. So for me, it takes me completely out of my element. It takes me completely off guard, you know, that a man would want to be pursued because, hello, this is all woman. Like, she literally rests. And she is here to show up. She's here to receive. She's here to multiply. She's here to bless. But to actually chase and go after and to pursue a man, like, I didn't get it, right? So I started asking more questions and stopped being just so cliche about it. That, oh, men are just this and men are just that. No, they're not. It's specifically something that I believe is happening because women are constantly selling themselves, constantly proving themselves to men, constantly buying men or showing what bag they have, what, you know, what they can bring to the table or whatever it is that they're trying to get from the guy to impress him in whatever way to be to be chosen by him, if you will, right? Meanwhile, the man tells you clearly he doesn't want a relationship. He tells you clearly that he's focused on his business. He tells you that he's unavailable emotionally, but you think somehow, you know, you're going to bust it down and he's just going to be sprung and it's just going to be an amazing thing. And then after he gets what he wants, and then it's a whole joke and the whole thing is over, it's no good anymore, right? So for me, I'm a very, very private person, very extremely reserved. So, you know, just kissing for me is extremely personal and intimate. You know, like, I'm sorry, you want to put your tongue where in my mouth? Like, how? Like, how do you, like, what are you doing? What happened? Like, just kissing for me is extremely personal. So I don't know the climate out there. I don't know if women are out here on first dates busting it down. If you guys are like, oh, I'm about to do what I do because he's going to be ready and he's going to be whatever he is. But, you know, men are actually under the impression that they can ask you, you know, on the first date, oh, you don't want to jump my bones? You know, you're not attracted to me? You don't want me? And I'm just sitting here like, wait, what happened? Who? What? I'm sorry, what? Are we having this conversation? Like, is this actually dialogue? That you're asking me if I don't want to jump your bones or if I'm not attracted to you, if I don't want you? Obviously, if two people are attracted to each other, they're sitting there having a date, right? So I just feel like, and it didn't happen once, right? It didn't happen twice. It seems to be the tone. And I don't know if it's the online dating thing because the matchmaker dates are a little bit more conservative and obviously much more serious, which I had to take it seriously for myself because obviously if a man is investing in a matchmaker, he's in a position where he's actually putting himself out there to find a wife, to find a mate, to find someone to fit his needs, right? Matchmaking can be interesting too because, you know, there are some guys that are like off the bat, they don't want kids, they don't want a woman who has kids, or sometimes they're like, they want a woman at a certain age, a certain height, a certain weight, you know, you have to look a certain way. So it's been interesting, right? And then even just being a feminine woman for myself, being sexy, I like to be sexy. I like to, and I don't want to feel bad about it. I don't want to feel like it means that I'm doing something outwardly or forwardly, but it's pretty, you know, conserved, I think. It's, you know, it's in a way that I feel beautiful. I love the colors, staying away from black, right? And we're just, you know, wearing a nice little, a one piece, little, you know, summer little number, a little situation, you know, a little something, you know? Nothing too crazy, but definitely a nice dinner date dress, you know, that's not black. And that's something that shows my personality and shows a little bit more vibrancy. Anyway, so I'm saying all that to say, you know, that gets to a point when you're dating and you're figuring it out and you're actually really saying, what do I really want though? Like, do I want a good time? You know, do I just want a good time? Is this what men are expecting, that you just want a good time or that you're supposed to be proving what you bring to the table in order to just get a spot in his little rotation or whatever it is that he has going on? Or is this an opportunity for me to be saying, wait, what what kind of guy am I actually interested in having, right? What kind of man am I actually interested in getting to know and investing my time in? Because my time is valuable. And so if a man is showing up in a way that's very casual for him, that's on him, but how I show up is not going to be affected because I know exactly what I desire and who I want, right? A man with values, a man who's goal-oriented, a man who has purpose, he's driven, he knows exactly the direction that he's going. He knows that he needs a wife and he needs a woman in his life, in his corner, just as I would know that I am also wanting to have a very protective, powerful, strong, capable man, right? And with that, what I've been doing in the past is just sort of saying, oh, you know, God will, you know, show me my husband. God will show me my man. God will make me visible to my man, and so forth. And then I would just sit there. I would sit there. I wouldn't want to go online. I wouldn't want to go on dates. I wouldn't want to be blind dates with my friends. Everybody always has somebody to set me up with and hook me up with, or come see this, or come here. It's always something, right? And I was just very much against that. I wasn't into that. I was just this idea in my mind that no, he's going to see me, he's going to know. I could be in the supermarket, it could be a grocery store, you know, he's going to see me. It's just going to happen this way. So I was so dead set on how it was supposed to happen that I was covering up, you know, my visibility and opportunity to really express my desires and to enjoy my life with spirituality, and saying that, you know, oh, it's God. God is going to show me, and God is going to reveal it to me, and so on and so forth. And then I had to come to terms with, you know what? God is giving us tools. God is giving us opportunities. God is showing up in so many different ways, saying, hey, the way you're doing it now is not working. And here's how you know it's not working. It's because you obviously don't have the results that you want, right? So whenever we're not getting the results that we want, it means that it's time for changes. It's time to start asking questions. It's time to start reconsidering the process in our mind and our perspective of that actual thing that we're desiring. So, you know, here I am in the dating game now, and it's just been so interesting, and I plan to keep you guys.
All right, y'all. If you haven't picked up your copy of Greatness is a Habit, authored by Aaron Dixon, otherwise known as True, many of you know him as True. He is an ex-Carbonation member, and he's authored this amazing read. If you are interested in self-development and growth, this book is a good one for you. It's available on Apple Books for $1, guys. I got my copy and I love this book.
Guys, very up to date and very much in the loop of how it's going. But nonetheless, it's been fun, and I've taken myself out of the hole in my lab, just always working and focused on my business and my family. And I'm really opening up myself to enjoying the rest of this summer, that's for sure, and getting to know really amazing people. And what I'm calling in is fulfilling relationships, right? And it's just not romantically, but just really fulfilling friendships, people that we deeply connect with on a beautiful level, so that we're actually expanding as ourselves. And you know, one of the things I did with the 5 closest people to me, I always ask, you know, what are the 5 best attributes that you feel that I have? And then I also ask, what are the 5 attributes that you feel I have an opportunity to grow that are not so great? And I look at those because those are the people that, you know, I trust and that are around me. And it's good to do that time and time again, and every now and then, to just sort of see when you're putting yourself forward and you're actually saying, hey, I'm open to what Spirit is bringing to me, that you bring your best self forward. And in that process, you know, a lot of guys, when I'm meeting them this past month, it's just been like, oh, well, are you like, you know, they try to get sexual fast. Like, they try to see how sexual you are, and they want to test your sexual temperature, I guess, or whatever have you. It's just like, oh my God. Like, and then they go into the extreme where like, oh, are you abstinent until you get married? Oh, you wait until you get married, right? You're that girl, like you're, and it's like, no, but let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about this idea that, you know, we are abstinent and we're waiting for marriage to be with our husbands before we are interactive with them. And we have seen the results of so many people that have used that manipulation and have weaponized, you know, abstinence, which is supposed to be something very sacred and special between 2 people, but then they weaponize it and use it in a way to manipulate a man to think that they're getting what they want, But then in the long haul, they get the short end of the stick, because true enough, as soon as that man gets what he wants, if he's not genuinely invested and truly looking to be in that life with you and fully connected to who you are as the woman, but more so the representatives that both people are bringing to the table as their abstinence is being practiced, where he's not really practicing it, but she is. He's just showing you the person that he needs to show you in order for you to give him what his desire is. And then when that thing doesn't work out, everybody's in shambles or shocked. Meanwhile, the whole process was a manipulation. So again, using spirituality, and hiding behind it to do things that are not really in the integrity of who we are, but doing it because we've seen somebody do it, doing it because we heard somebody else say to do it, doing it because we read a book that said, this is what this couple did, and this is what, they did before they got married. And then some of them didn't work out so well, right? Some of them are still going strong. So it's not to say one size fits all, but this is just more about getting back to our authenticity, back to our heart, back to ourselves. Like, why would you manipulate and weaponize something so sacred between two people in order to try to create a life that's going to be something that you're asking to be blessed, a union by God of marriage, but yet it's built under this manipulation, right? So there's so many aspects of it to me that are so twisted. But what I do realize is that the better that I get as Sybil, the more I go back to Sybil and say, okay, I can't change what's going on out here, but clearly something wants to be reflected back to me to show me. I need to be really, really, really specific about my desires and what it is that I'm actually accepting in my life. What are the ideas and thoughts that I have about relationships? What are the ideas and thoughts that I have about marriage? Are there some things subconsciously that I've accepted that I'm not even realizing that these things keep showing up, right? Why was I always rejecting going on online dating? Why was I always against it? Why was it always a taboo to get a matchmaker and all these other things, right? Because somewhere I heard some really bad stories that there's a whole bunch of duds and you're going to have this experience, you're going to have that experience, right? So that perspective had to change, where I was starting to find that there were people who were having successful stories, really beautiful stories. I didn't know, one of the people who I love so much, my sister was telling me, and when she said that to me, I was like, wow, Tamara Mowry, she met her husband on Match, right? And then another one of our aunts, she had two, this is her second marriage, and she met her husband on Match, and they have a beautiful, beautiful, loving relationship that is just so inspirational. So I think the moment we actually start to open up our minds to different aspects instead of trying to follow other people's way of doing things, and we actually ask ourselves, what do we want? What do we truly want? And maybe you have that within you that you want to, practice and wait and before you are intimate with somebody. Or maybe you feel like, once there's a certain level of trust and communication that you feel like you want to connect with a man on that level, right? Because men connect with us physically. They feel very bonded to us when we physically connect with them in that sexual way. And then for us as women, we want the romance, we want the affection, and we want that protection to know that we're good. And we know that your intentions with you, our emotions are protected and safe with you, that we can express ourselves and allow ourselves to be truly open and allow ourselves to enjoy you fully, right? So that's one thing, right? Just that whole idea of spirituality and sex and relationships and dating. I think it's important that we remain open, but also ask the right questions. And anytime before I go on a date, I'm always like, God, just give me clarity, allow me to show up authentically. If there's anything that I need to see up front, please let it be revealed to me. Let me see clearly what you have presented to me. Let me see what I do and don't want. Some dates are just for me to be able to recognize and see things in me based on my reactions that I didn't even know I didn't want, right? Some refining of things, right? To where, as being a traditional woman, maybe somebody who is at home taking care of kids, of a man who only wants his wife to do such a thing and is not really okay with her having a passion and things that she loves to do. And so there's that balance, that you kind of have to find. So it's like, yeah, he's a multi-millionaire, but what he wants from his woman is just his woman. He doesn't want you to be talking about nothing else. He's not interested in you having conversations about nothing else. As a matter of fact, He is so focused on you being his woman that you are his whole world, and he expects you to actually feed that back to him. When he comes home, as he's at work, things that he wants aligned, his home and things cared for. So people have different perspectives, right? And it's important to ask those questions. And is it okay that someone has a passion? Not that money is needed, but that they have a passion of something that they love to do, right? And then you meet a guy who's working a profession. He has a professional job. He's not like a multimillionaire entrepreneur, right? He has a profession. He has his degrees in whatever profession he's doing, medical field, dental field, attorneys and whatever his profession is, right? And he's a little bit more simplified, and he actually is open to the idea, and he maybe not want some of the things that a more traditional man may require and want. So it's been a lot of fun to kind of just get back in to understand more of myself, to see like, wow, what do I really, really, really want out here? Like, what do I really, really want? And the more that I hand that over to God, you know what, God, you take over, you present and show the things that that would work best for me. And what I'm finding is that every time something like triggers me or rubs me the wrong way, it's something within me that I need to look at, something within me that I need to take a look at and see, okay, well, why is that idea triggering you? What is it that you can learn from it? And how can you be more flexible or not flexible to know what your hard no's are, to know what your deal breakers are, to know like, okay, I'm good with this, I'm not so good with this, and this works for me and that doesn't work for me, right? Because the sure thing is that a man's going to tell you for sure what he wants. He's going to tell you, oh, I don't want kids. Oh, I want kids. Oh, I want this. Oh, I don't want that. Oh, I want marriage. Nope, I don't want marriage. Oh, I don't see a relationship. No, I just want somebody I can spend time with, somebody that I can communicate with and have a regular, a connection with and so forth. And ladies, don't get upset when a man is expressing these ideas to you and what he really wants. Don't say, oh, no. He said that, but I really feel like he just wants me to show him that I'm really invested and that I'm going to be the one, and that once he sees how amazing I am, he's going to change his mind. No, it's no. When a man tells you what he wants, believe him the first time, right? He is absolutely telling you the truth. He is absolutely sharing with you his truest desires, and we should absolutely believe him, right? Don't try to think you can change him. Don't try to think you can, convince him otherwise. Take it for what it is, learn from it, and then you're able to make your own decision like, hey, you know what? I really respect that you were able to tell me the truth about that. I respect what you've said. But for me, that's not where I am right now. I'm in a different place right now. I desire different things, and I'm looking to be in a different placement in my life right now, and I'm building on something for me to really have a family and to create legacy and to build with someone that truly compliments and inspires me to continue to grow and to have a beautiful relationship with, right? And then you will find he either disappears, right? Or he'll still try to pursue you because he's still going to try to get that thing. So be clear on what a guy giving you attention, right? Sexual attention and wanting to just sleep with you as opposed to a guy who's invested in you, right? You're not going to be worried if he's calling or checking in on you, or you're not going to be unsure of how he feels about you. When a man is truly invested in you and wants to know about you as a woman, your spirit, who you are, and he's actually considering, he will know immediately the moment.
All right, y'all, go ahead and drop me a comment, smash the heck out of that like button, and share. Thank you guys in advance.
He meets you, how he feels, right? Just like we do as women, we know how we feel immediately. So he's going to either talk and say the things that are going to spark your mind to want to learn more about what he desires, or you're going to say, oh, okay, he's in a different place right now. But be clear that no man is going to ruin his chances of trying to want to sleep with you. He's going to say everything that is absolutely possible to try to get you to, be with him, because he is probably physically attracted to you, but he knows it's not going anywhere, right? So be clear about what he wants, what you want. the desires that you have. And that's why a matchmaker is so, so powerful, because also too, that kind of weeds out a lot of things. You know, the man's going to be really clear on what he's being, what he's desiring. You're going to be really clear about what you're desiring. And then it becomes a really nice opportunity to just let down all of the guards and to be open to that person, to explore the personalities, to explore the chemistry, to explore the values and the morals and the principles that you two share together, to see if you can grow together. All right. Another thing I want to talk about when it comes to spirituality, right, that I find that we hide behind, and believe me, I'm talking to myself, right? But it's this idea that, you know, once we hit 35 and older, you know, we're looking at our eggs as women. We're looking at, you know, if we don't have a child. One of my biggest things, people ask, you're not married? Oh my God, you don't have kids? Oh my God, you're so, wow. I mean, how's that possible? How are you single? What, you know? So those things start to creep up on you low key, right? It's like, wow, yeah, why is that? Why am I single? Why? Oh yeah, you was busy in corporate and you was focused on your career and you let go of relationships, but you know, we ain't gonna talk about, you know, but actually, you know, in hindsight, you know, it always working out exactly as it's supposed to, right? God's doing what God's doing no matter what and how it may look like, preparing you, because I do believe by now I would have been on my first divorce already, right? That's just the truth, right? So now I'm in a place of maturation where it's different and the values are different and the ideas are different. And I'm actually able to allow someone to humanly be in my life and not have these expectations that are unrealistic, but truly allow myself to see the truth about a person and to know what it is that works for me and what it is that I'm willing to grow with, because no one's going to be perfect. No one's going to have the perfect, you know, sheet paper. No one's going to be there's always going to be something, right, that can be worked on. And that's what makes it beautiful, so that we can grow. But to what I'm speaking of as far as that age, right, that age, as women, we think about kids, right? We think about our eggs. We think about all these things. Like, it's like, oh, do you want kids? Oh, yeah, okay. Well, how old are you? Okay, well, oh, wow, okay, you still want kids? Yeah, absolutely, I want kids. Well, I mean, do you have your eggs frozen? I mean, have you, oh, well, you know, God is gonna, you know, just when it's time, God's gonna, you know, bring me my kids, and God's gonna allow, you know, me to have kids when it, huh? No. Okay? What God is doing is providing us tools and opportunities that, okay, you know what, I am maturing. And you know what, I do want to make sure everything is good with me reproductively. You know what, let me go make sure. Let me go find out about my eggs. Let me go find out about my fallopian tube. Let me go find out about my womb. Let me go find out about my uterus. Let me make sure that everything is copacetic there. Let me make sure that I can save some eggs, right? For whatever reasons, right? That we know for sure. So when I go to the doctor and she's like, oh, you're fertile as a little, like a young bunny rabbit. So I have girls 20 years old who are not as fertile as you, and they're not, and you're at your age and they're not, and they still can't have, you know, they don't have the things that you have productively in your reproductive. And so it's like, wow, I'm really healthy reproductively, everything is going well, and that feels really good. But it also brings that wake-up call that there's a possibility that sometimes some people don't have that. So it's not to use spirituality to say, oh, God's going to provide for me. You know, God's going to make a way. You're getting this opportunity right now to say, you know what, I do want kids. And you know what, let me save my eggs, because I may not have my husband right now. I may not have that situation where I want him, but I'm working towards that, and that's coming towards me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work and put action with my prayers and know that it is all working for my good. And so that when that time does come and that opportunity is there, I will be absolutely ready and available so that I can have the things that I truly desire, right? We're not going to have the womp story of, oh my God, I should have saved my egg. Oh my God, I should have did this, right? Stop using spirituality and a way of ignoring or a way of avoidance to say, you know, it's God and you're going to wait. And no, it's okay to actually say, I really desire this. And you know what? I'm going to put my best foot forward to ensure and to make sure that I am setting things in motion, and the opportunities that God is giving me, that I'm going to utilize them to make sure that I have that in place. And when it is time, it'll happen, right? It's just like a job. Or, you know, I had a client, and I know I made a post just recently about the Virgos, because, you know, it's Virgo season. So Virgo's always going to keep it to you. They're going to give it to you 100% straight. There's no sugarcoating. Um, and a Virgo will tell you what it is, right? But if you're talking about, struggling financially and that, you're dealing with certain things, I hear so many people, well, I'm manifesting and, I'm working, or I'm really meditating towards my goals, and I'm really, baby, I'm going to need you to work with your prayers, and I'm going to need you to get that $100,000 closer to your million that you're manifesting by saying yes to that job, right? That's the perspective you want to have. It's not like, oh, I don't want to take a job because it's not paying me $1 million. But you actually want to be aligned with what you actually desire. So it's like, okay, I'm manifesting $1 million, but are you really? How do you know, like when you're saying you're manifesting something, right? Supposedly that you have this ability to do, right? Have you written down what you're doing with the $1 million? Have you decided who you're donating to? Have you decided what you're paying off? Have you decided what you're investing in? Have you decided what it is that's going to fuel you and what's going to generate more of that money and what's going to allow you to continue to grow when you have that money and utilize it for its highest and best good, right? Some people are like, oh, I'm manifesting this or I'm manifesting that, but not working towards it. Using spirituality as a way to say, oh, God's going to, take care of that. God's going to do that. But yet we're not reinforcing what it is that we want, right? We have the ability to make choices. That is the beauty of God. We work with what we're praying for. And while you're saying, okay, I'm manifesting my children, I'm manifesting my husband, I'm manifesting my $1 million, I'm manifesting all these things, we're actually working towards it, right? We're not sitting there saying, oh, I'm going to kumbaya all day under a tree, which I have done as well. I read an Eckhart Tolle book. This was a past life, it feels like. I think like that was like 2008, 2009 or something. And I literally sat up under a tree for like a year thinking something was going to miraculously change. Okay? And what did happen though, I did learn how to quiet my mind. I did learn patience. I did learn ease. I did learn to just really surrender and let go and to allow. And everything, of course, always worked out for me. But I do believe in the age that we're in now, we have so much resources, so much opportunity, that it would be foolish for us not to really... My sister said, yep, you did. I literally sat up under a tree, guys, but we're not going to, what we're not going to do on this glorious day is trying to sun me. Okay? Just for everybody joining, we're just talking. I have a date later, and I just decided to jump on really quick, just to talk about some of the things that I've been experiencing in the dating world. And it's just so funny, but also how different perspectives can block us from our own blessings. From when I didn't want to be online dating, I didn't want matchmakers, I wanted it just the old traditional way to have somebody, approach me, meet me, and just be like, oh my God, that's my wife, that's her, and it would just be some happily ever after relationship, right? So we're just talking about the steps and the things that have been needed and the habits and the ideas and the thoughts that have needed to change in order for things to change for me. And because I've changed my perspective, I'm telling you, so many things have been required of me. Every time I say I want a new desire, now I'm almost like, whoa, let me not even say that I want that, because the moment you set that shuttle off, things are gonna come right before you. It's like, phew, everything blows up right in your face to show you, because it's anything not aligned with what you're saying you desire that shows right up. So if you're saying you want $1 million, all your bills about to pull up on you. All that back, whatever, of loans and payments and history, whatever, all kinds of, you owe somebody, everything's going to show up regarding money, right? Because this is God saying, okay, you want it, so now let me show you what it requires. Let me show you, let me see how you will use the little that you have. And will you use it responsibly? Will you make better choices? So if I give you more than what you have now, if I'm watching what you're doing with what you have now and it's not wise, how will you ever do any better? You ever see people who like win the lotto? You hear this all the time. They win the $1 million, they win the lotto, and then the next year they're broke. Why? Because it wasn't the money that was the issue, right? It was their money management. It was the way they were allotting their money. It was their time management, what they were utilizing, buying everybody a car, splurging on this, splurging on that, not reinvesting it, not circulating the money, right? It's like, no, baby. But at the same time, what I do see in people with the spirituality is, oh, right now things aren't good, and, I can't really afford anything and this and that, but God is going to provide. No, God is not broke. There's nothing about God that is ever broke in any form, fashion, or listen, if there's brokenness, it's not aligned with God. And that's on facts, okay? Look at nature. Look at nature. Look at the trees. Look at the grass. Look at the sky. Look at the sun. Look at everything that God has created. There is nothing that is lacking. There is nothing that is not abundance. Everything on this earth is regenerating. Everything on this earth is regenerating. Look at us. Look at us, the best natural creation, God's favorite and best creation, right? He didn't make 100 cells. He didn't make 1,000 cells. He didn't make 2 million cells, 10 million cells, 1 billion cells. We're made of trillions of cells. That's the creator that created us. Nothing about God is in.
All right, y'all. So I am back with another great read. This is the Goddess Affirmation book, authored by Janae. Some of you may know her as Nateri. She is an ex-Carbonation member, and she has authored this amazing book. The book is available on Amazon.com. Just search for the Goddess Affirmation book, authored by Janae Newell.
Of cells. That's the creator that created us. Nothing about God is in lack. So stop with the story of, oh, I don't want to take that job. I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to do this. I mean, unless it's against your moral values. I'm not telling you just go do anything for money. I'm not telling you go bust it down somewhere on some only pages and do whatever people are doing. I mean, everybody has their freedom and their choice. But what I am saying is that when you start asking God questions, God, what's the next step I can take to get closer to this vision? What's the next step that I can take to get closer to my goal? And when something shows up, we don't get to say, oh no, I don't want that. Oh no, that's only $100,000. Oh no, that's not my million. You're still 100,000 closer to what your goal is, right? So it's really the perspective. But to accept and to start negotiating brokenness, that is nothing about God there. Nothing. God is always in abundance, because abundance and what money is value. Money follows value. If you're bringing value in any way, shape, or form, money is going to follow it, right? So whenever you find yourself wanting more abundance, wanting more money, wanting more wealth, wanting these things, and riches-wise, physical, material things, that means there has to be something that you're willing to share, something you're willing to bring a value, something you're willing to offer, maybe a talent, a skill, writing, admin's work, whatever your skill is, working out. People out here killing it, training. If you love to cook, you can be a chef. I know chefs making $10,000 a week being personal chefs. It's your mind, and you decide that whatever your talent is, whether it's big or small or little in your mind, is what's going to determine your results. But one thing about those results is that they don't lie. Results are not going to lie. So you're going to see your relationship with God in your results. So whether you think you're keeping secrets or people don't know, you are always being revealed through your life. So there's really no secrets, right? Unless you're just fooling yourself, right? We can lie to a lot of people, but it's to ourselves that we have to face. And for me, that's really what success is. You know, people talk about success, it's whether it's money, whether it's whatever. For a lot of people, success means different things. For me, success is when I can look at that girl right there, I can look at her in the mirror, and I can say, I honor you. It is such an honor to love you. It is such an honor to be God's representation as you. It is such an honor to come forward and to bring a light and to be authentic and to be different and to be uniquely Sybil. It is such an honor when I can say that proudly, without guilt, without shame, that I'm living a life that I actually love, that I'm actually thriving, that I'm actually in love with who I am. That to me is success. Right? Because that right there says everything around me is going to reflect that back to me. Everything around me. It's literally a mirror effect. That's what we're really looking at. We're looking at everything that's a mirror. And every conflict that comes in before us are opportunities for us to start changing our ways, changing our choices, changing our habits. We are not going to get the result of whatever we think we're manifesting without the opportunities that God's going to present for us to change. If we're asking for that money and that manifestation of it, God's going to start to change our habits in relationship with money. God's going to start to test our ability to be able to manage money, to be able to spend responsibly, to be able to spend and to be able to invest. right? Are you going to invest in the financial advisor? Are you going to invest in a coach? Are you going to figure out ways to multiply your money? Are you going to figure out ways to truly bless what it is that I've already given you? Are you grateful for what you have right now? I don't care if you have $100. Did you bless that $100 in your bank account right now? So what are you doing with what you have that I've given you that gives you the ability to have more, right? But never try to convince yourself or use spirituality as a way to be poor, or as a way to be lonely, or a way to be broke, or a way to be less than what you desire. That's not God. God is literally pushing and pulling us and giving us this longing. It's like a longing and like a yearning for the thing we desire that never goes away. It's like this burning desire, and it doesn't go away because it's what's on the inside of us. So it's not going to go away, but what it's doing is God's not changing the situation. He's not going to change the circumstance. God wants to change us, right? It's like, Sybil, I need you to be the version that I need you to be in order to get and do the things that you want to do. You're going to have to become a different person, because the old version of Sybil is not able to hold on and manifest those things, right? And that's why there's a desire of the future version of Sybil, which is now that I'm able to see it and hold it within me to experience it, right? But if I don't actually make the changes, if I don't actually accept that there are some questions and hard things that I need to look at within myself and say, all right, so, well, you could do better here. There are things that you could change here, right? What about my personality? What about my spending habits? What about my ideas? What about my opinions? What about my thoughts? What about the things that I've been taught that are not aligned with the dream that I'm going towards, right? And so what I've been doing is just making a lot of peace with Sybil. I mean, it's so much better, because what happens when I am in that hustle, bustle, work mode, and, gotta make it happen, and I'm gonna make it this, and listen, I burn out so quickly and nothing works. It's like, yeah, it'll happen real quick. Something, you'll get like a result real quick, but it won't be longevity. It won't be something that's lasting, and that's how you know it's not from God. When it's something that we're forcing and that we're trying to will by force to happen. If your dream is not requiring that, you need a higher power, and that you need God to take over that dream, your dream is not big enough. If your dream is not requiring, or your desire or your goal is not for certain saying, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I cannot do this on my own. I absolutely need Source to come in, step in, and take over and guide me each and every step, that I'm divinely guided, that I'm divinely connected, that I'm divinely protected at all times to go in the direction and live the life that I love, then it is not in alignment with who you are. The way we know when we are in alignment with who we are is when we are fully and solely depending on God for that thing. That's really the alignment of who we are, right? Because the idea that, I'm gonna get the $1 million, you don't know how, right? But you know that that's a desire. Let's say that's your desire. Do you know how your heart works? Do you know how your heart beats? Do you know how your lung functions? Do you know any of those things? No, but it's right there functioning, right? We have a whole system, a whole nervous system. Do you understand how the lymphatic nervous system works? Do you understand the cranial nervous system? Do you understand your brain? Do you understand the pineal gland? Do you understand all these things that are transmitting and all the electromagnetic things that are happening in your body? No, but you know that it's there. Why? Because we can feel it, right? So the more we focus on the thing instead of the what that is creating that desire, which is God allowing us to expand and grow, we're really always going to feel like we're in a place of lack. But the moment we let it go and allow it to be in the source where it comes from, right, on the inside of us, that's when things start to really change. But it's hard things that are here. There are things that you could change here, right? What about my personality? What about my spending habits? What about my ideas? What about my opinions? What about my thoughts? What about the things that I've been taught that are not aligned with the dream that I'm going towards, right? And so what I've been doing is just making a lot of peace with Sybil. I mean, it's so much better, because what happens when I am in that hustle, bustle, work mode, and gotta make it happen, and I'm gonna make it this, and listen, I burn out so quickly and nothing works. It's like, yeah, it'll happen real quick. Something, you'll get like a result real quick, but it won't be longevity. It won't be something that's lasting, and that's how you know it's not from God. When it's something that we're forcing and that we're trying to will by force to happen. If your dream is not requiring that you need a higher power and that you need God to take over that dream, your dream is not big enough. If your dream is not requiring, or your desire or your goal is not for certain saying, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I cannot do this on my own. I absolutely need Source to come in, step in, and take over and guide me each and every step, that I'm divinely guided, that I'm divinely connected, that I'm divinely protected at all times to go in the direction and live the life that I love, then it is not in alignment with who you are. The way we know when we are in alignment with who we are is when we are fully and solely depending on God for that thing. That's really the alignment of who we are, right? Because the idea that, I'm gonna get the $1 million, you don't know how, right? But you know that that's a desire. Let's say that's your desire. Do you know how your heart works? Do you know how your heart beats? Do you know how your lung functions? Do you know any of those things? No, but it's right there functioning, right? We have a whole system, a whole nervous system. Do you understand how the lymphatic nervous system works? Do you understand the cranial nervous system? Do you understand your brain? Do you understand the pineal gland? Do you understand all these things that are transmitting and all the electromagnetic things that are happening in your body? No, but you know that it's there. Why? Because we can feel it, right? So the more we focus on the thing instead of the what that is creating that desire, which is God allowing us to expand and grow, we're really always going to feel like we're in a place of lack. But the moment we let it go and allow it to be in the source where it comes from, right, on the inside of us, that's when things start to really change. But it's hard things that change. It's habits that you got to let go of. It's certain people that you got to get out of your life. It's certain ideas that you got to stop believing. It's certain practices. You know those habits. You know those habits that you do secretly and quietly, right? You know those things that you do. You know, everybody has their own demons that they're fighting, right? So when we start surrendering those things over to God and say, God, this demon, this I can't handle anymore. Just take this away from me. Take this thing away from me. Take it away. I know it's blocking what is for me, and I no longer want it. Because by our own force and will, usually it's not going to make them, maybe temporarily, right? It may happen. But when we truly ask for God to remove a thing, remove something that is poisoning us or that is infecting us in a way that's not flourishing us, that's when we start to see changes. And that's when we get the opportunities to make choices. Because it comes from me in the opportunity of choices. I no longer subscribe to this idea that, you have to suffer and you have to be in pain and you have to be a starving, broke artist in order to make it. Those are all lies. Those are all old beliefs. Those are all old systems that just don't make sense anymore, right? I made so many mistakes in my entrepreneur journey. You know, I would have stayed with my job much longer to invest in my business. I wouldn't have been doing the broke struggle that first year, trying to figure it all out and trying to get it all together and getting all the luxury stuff. But I took a leap of faith. Now, if I had to tell someone to do it now, I would guide them totally different for the things and the mistakes that I've made. There's so many better choices that you can make. So now what I ask God is that I get my contrast and my lessons through insight, right? So then what happens for me is through insight, somebody will show up that's either experienced a similar thing and that they've experienced similar challenges and that they've learned from it and grown from it, and then that person will just show up, whether it's online, whether it's an email, whether it's a friend I meet. I will literally connect with the people.
All right, y'all. A word from Rambo, aka Wild Quetzal.
What up, y'all? I'm excited to share an offering that I've been putting a lot of intention and energy into. It's called Wild Brotherhood, and it's a community for conscious, intentional, sovereign-seeking men who are wanting to come together, build themselves up, develop themselves, and level up in all domains of existence. So there's two parts to the Wild Brotherhood. I'll explain it very simply. The first part is a monthly membership that includes weekly video calls, a group chat, access to a network of men who have different skill sets. We will intertwine that with one another, as well as priority access to the in-person events, which is part 2, the gathering.
Y'all be sure to check out Rambo at wildbrotherhood.com Any men out there who are interested in building with like-minded men, check them out.
People that I need the information from in order to collect the knowledge and data so that I can make a better assessment of my decision. But that suffering, that being broke, that, that being lonely and accepting it and saying, oh, it's okay, I have self-love and I have soul-love. I don't care that you have self-love and soul-love. That has nothing to do with the desire that you have to want to have a partner or be with somebody. That is a natural human desire. We're meant to be alive here on this earth to connect. Relationships is our greatest reward for being alive. Why would you take that opportunity away from you by saying, no, I'm good, I don't need that. God is blessing me, I'm abstinent, using these lies and these manipulations to try to get people to do what you want them to do when that has nothing to do with God. As a matter of fact, loving somebody is allowing them to freely be who they are and accepting them exactly as they are without trying to change them. That's a person that you absolutely love. If you can accept them exactly as they are. Now, granted, we're all going to grow. We're all going to evolve. We're all going to have our moments of growth, right? But what love actually is means absolute, for me, in my mind, what it means is absolute acceptance of that person. So if there's something about you that doesn't sit well in my spirit that I cannot accept morally, or that doesn't work for me, romantically or chemistry-wise or whatever is the situation, then I would know that that's not the person for me, because I would not be able to love them freely, right? I would have to be trying to change them in order to love them. But well, if they just changed this, and if they just did this, I would just be, if they just had this a little bit better, if they just did it, nope, that's not where love is at. Love is loving that person exactly the way God loves us, exactly the way you are, and giving them their opportunity and giving them their room to grow into themselves and into their maturation, and you love them through that whole process. Is it easy? Heck no. But when you love someone, that love takes over and allows you to give that person that grace to be able to experience those things, right? So I didn't want to stay too long. I know it's 2:52. We got to get off by 3. But yeah, it's just so much that I've been seeing right now. People, just hiding behind spirituality and using spirituality as a scapegoat to be in these really debilitating positions, and these positions that are so lack. And they have nothing to do with God, okay? If it's poverty, if it's broke conversation, if it's negativity, it's not God. It just isn't, right? If it's something that is allowing us to grow, it's an opportunity, then that calls for us to make a new choice. If there's something we're trying to get, and we see that it's not working no matter what we do, that's when you start asking the questions. God, what is it that you want to teach me here? God, what is it that you want to show me that there's a better opportunity, right? I never forget when I was trying to get my first engraver for my bottles. I was stuck on getting this engraver. It's about $20,000. I was like, this is the best engraver. It's the best thing, blah, blah, blah. No matter what I did, every time a delay happened. Every time I was just like, oh, let me wait. Every time they were like, oh, we're closed. They're shipping. I literally went to the store. They didn't have it. I would have to order it. They'd have to ship it, and it'd have to be that because I wanted to see it in store. Lo and behold, I said, God, what is going on here? This is the printer that I want. This is the engraver. I had people manifesting it with me to see me having my engraver. This is the top of the line engraver. I need this for my business. And let me tell you something. As soon as I asked God, is there something better? What is it that is holding me back from the engraver? I discovered the new engraver. It's a newest innovation in a new company. Something totally different, so easy. Something that I can do, right? Because the other one required to have my engraver only do it. But if in the worst case scenario now, I know how to do it. And it's easy, it's sleek, it's quiet. It's just top of the line, right? Top of the line, state-of-the-art engraver. So I literally kept trying to force something that really wasn't for my highest and best good, thinking that I had to have it that way, right? So all I'm saying is just work with the blessings that you desire. If it's a husband, if it's a dating, if it's meeting someone, try new ways, try new things. If you think sitting at home, every day is going to bring him to you and it's going to be delivered to you, that's one thing. Because guess what? You might just get him. He might be your Uber driver. He might be your Uber Eats guy. He might be your FedEx guy. He might be your mailman. Listen, anything is possible with God. I'm not telling you that man might not show up at your door. So it depends on what you want, because if that's what you want, he just might show up to your door, right? It's very possible. I don't doubt God. But it depends on what you're actually desiring in that man, right? And when you write that list of what you're desiring in that man, whatever the qualifications, kind, generous, monogamous, faithful, loyal, protection, provider, right? What about you is also mirroring and matching those qualities, right? Are you a woman of grace? Are you a woman of ease? Are you a woman of peace? Are you a woman that can feed into him? Are you a woman that can multiply what he's bringing? Are you a woman that can actually bring love and joy and peace into this man's life, for this man that you're manifesting, right? So we have to make sure those spirits of, anger or bitterness or past relationships are also cleared. So many things that we have to get through on our own that God kind of doesn't give us it right up front, because there are things that we have to make new choices about. So I feel really blessed about that. And I feel blessed about this revelation and this information. And God's been working with this for me for a minute, as far as relationships, as far as, my company and my business. And the moment I got in partnership with God, the moment I said, you know what, this ain't it. This ain't it, Sybil. This is not what it is, right? And I said, God, you take over my business. You take over my relationships. You take over my finances. You take over every area of my life. And I want to allow you to do that with ease. I'm not going to resist. I'm not going to give pushback. I'm not going to say I know better, because my results show that I don't know better. But there is something about the God within me that knows the better and the higher. And so the moment that I allowed that, better things started to happen, right? Tapping into the heart, just allowing the heart to feel what it wants to feel. A lot of you know about my sister passing away 2 years ago. Well, on 3 years now. So, and the grieving process for me was absolutely devastation, right? Just a completely devastating time for me. But what...
All right, y'all, go ahead and drop me a comment, smash the heck out of that like button, and share. Thank you guys in advance.
What has God done? What has God done in that process? My God, the things that I've developed, the humanity that I have developed, it's like a rite of passage into truly having compassion for people, having compassion for people to feel, having compassion for people to experience life and to be able to hold their hand through that. And there's really no words when it comes to somebody, losing their loved ones. There's no more, oh, they're in a better place. Oh, God took an angel. God, shut the entire front door with that, okay? Because that does not work. That is like some of the worst things people can say. And I'm not judging you, because I said it before I had the experience of my sister passing. But what I will say is this: when it happens in your experience, you start to learn to really allow God to do God's work. And you just, you can just hold your friend. You can just say how sorry you are. You can just tell them you're there for them. You can just hold their hand. You can give them a hug. You can rub their back. You can do something to physically be there for them. But that's truly, when there's a grieving process, allow people to grieve in their own way. And there's no set time for grieving. You just show up for them by being there. You're present and you're aware and you're holding space for them, but never trying to, it's just energy. Everything is energy. Energy can never be destroyed. We all know the truth, but the way it feels in our human experience in those moments of our grieving, that is not what we need. What we need is ease and peace of mind and a level of grace to be able to grieve properly and to take the time we need to grieve properly. Because if I didn't grieve properly, even after I tried to throw myself into a cult somewhere and try to get myself killed and all kind of nonsense, right? But God brought me back, and I still had to deal with the pain. I couldn't run from the pain of the grieving, right? It still came back, and I had to heal through it with God, right? So that was truly a moment for me in life that I'll never be the same again, obviously, right? Never. That's the thing that grieving does. It just brings this humanness in you, for humanity and love for yourself and ease and heart and trust. And then I found something really exciting. I want to show you guys. I found this the other day. If you guys have been rocking with me for a couple of years, you know that I've always, been on my spiritual journey. And so I found these, and right, it's just boxed up. It was boxed up since 2017, right? Crazy. And I was like, oh my God. So I found these, my Pledge Allegiance to the Heart badges. I don't know if you guys ever remember that when I used to do my pledge salutations to the heart. I pledge allegiance to the heart. And you know, I trademarked it, I did all that. And I didn't really understand what I was doing at the time. It was just one of those things like, yeah, that's cool, you know, pledge allegiance to the heart. Because I damn sure pledge allegiance to the other thing, right? But this Pledge Allegiance to the Heart, these badges, I created them, and it was just a moment of me. I used to wake up every morning, give salutations, and just thank God for my life, and just speak life into everyone around me, and to be in gratitude and thankfulness. And I would pledge allegiance to my heart, and to really be guided in the right way. And a lot of people, you know, they take the heart as a painful process and something that's really hurtful. But, you know, the truth is that the heart is the purest form of our experience. And it's the emotions that makes us even alive today. Having feelings is emotion. That is truly emotion. That is moving energy when we have feelings about anything. So the thing that I've learned to do is to really feel my feelings, whatever they are. I stopped using spirituality as a, oh no, that didn't hurt my feelings, God got me, or you know, I'm okay, you know, I'm not gonna allow myself to be in that type of pain or that type of feeling because, oh, I'm spiritual. No, that is total hogwash, okay? Being spiritual actually means that we're able to feel those feelings so deeply, and that we know sometimes it overpasses us. It actually just really can overtake us. My grief for my baby sister passing, it really took over me, just completely. I was physically dying. And what I wanted to do was feel some sort of other pain. So I put myself in very extremely painful situations so that I could feel a different kind of pain. That's what the brain will try to do, to trick you out of feeling pain because you don't want to feel it, right? But the moment I allowed myself to feel it and allowed my heart to really grieve her loss, and the loss is really the fact that I didn't get more opportunity to love her more. You know, when you truly love someone and you get to experience real love, you only just want to have more love with them. You want to have more time to love them. That's the desire. So when they go, death is like the one thing like, wait, hold on. What do I do with that? I don't know what to do with death because we can't fix death. We can't answer questions about death. We can't try to show them something different or another way. It's just the moment it happens, it's gone, it's done. So it's like we're stuck as in our human form to say, I no longer have her physically, that I can love on her and express and share that love with her anymore. So, you know, over the years, obviously, it gets softer, right? But if I think about her or something comes up, I'm just, But now I just allow myself to feel the feelings, you know? I don't punish myself for missing her or like crying or like grieving or, you know, like having a moment. It's okay that I feel pain to miss her, right? Because she was somebody that I loved so deeply, right? And so I don't have that physical with her anymore. And it feels good to just be able to free myself to cry and feel those feelings. I'm telling you, don't hide behind spirituality to hide who you are, you know, with what you feel and your emotions. We're here to fully experience life. You know, I damn sure don't want to be no monk somewhere, you know, sitting under a tree for the rest of my life not feeling shit. I want to feel something, you know. I want to feel it. I want to feel it fully, and I want to experience life fully because, you know, having that loss, when I have someone that I love now, like my niece and my big sister, and, you know, they're so precious to me. Like, they're the most sacred to me, and I love on them like as if I'll never get a chance again. I love on them, right? My whole heart. And so it feels good to free yourself into that kind of love because, again, it's like a rite of passage into this whole new space of who you are as a human being, you know? That hardness, that wall kind of just goes away, and you remember, you know, how to be tender, how to be soft, and how to love in a way that's freely so that you can fully experience life. And I'm okay, it's okay, don't tell me not to cry. I really, it's something that frees me. It's something that I feel deeply connects me with her every time I have a deep remembrance of her. And it connects me deeper to her. And while I'm doing that, what am I holding? My pledge allegiance to the heart. Oh, look. Oh, okay. I just got a notification from Match that Abdul just liked your...
All right, y'all. If you haven't picked up your copy of Greatness is a Habit, authored by Aaron Dixon, otherwise known as True. Many of you know him as True. He is an ex-Carbonation member, and he's authored this amazing read. If you are interested in self-development and growth, this book is a good one for you. It's available on Apple Books for $1, guys. I got my copy, and I love this book.
Listen, get yourself free, man. I'm telling you. Just free yourself from old ideas, from people that you think you need to follow, from people that you think you need to, like listen and do all that. Even me. Obviously, I'm sharing my experience. If it feels right, good. If it doesn't, that's okay too, But allow yourself to just be free and be you, okay? There'll never be another you, ever. Not this, ever, lifetime, nothing, never. It's only you, right? And so express that fully, love fully, and trust yourself fully, and trust God. Spirituality is truly means being in oneness with God and allowing God to take over our lives and feel this human experience fully. Because when we're gone and we're not here, we'll no longer have these feelings. We'll be in our heavenly bliss, if you will, right? In our energy of bliss. And so for now, we get to have these experiences and these feelings that continuously bless us in ways that we cannot even imagine. So I just send out love to everyone. I pledge allegiance to my heart still feels good, because that's where I believe the Spirit of God lives, in our hearts. And this weekend I had been working on a couple of things. It just came over me. Just the spirit fragrances. This is the intuition. Intuition came up this weekend, to really tap into our intuition. Imagination came up this weekend. Imagination. It's all in the stories. My stories are really where it's at. Stories be lit. Innocence, right? Innocence. So those are the three I's, the three intuitive, right? Imagination is the greatest nation that there is, truly, right? So innocence, imagination, and intuition. I believe with those three things, we truly tap into a place within ourselves that just allows us to experience life in the most beautiful way. That innocence that allows us to be free, that we're not afraid to try something new, that even if it's going to, mean that it doesn't feel so great, but we learn something powerful from it. And then we can actually make better choices from it, that we don't have to go through the experiences that don't feel so great, that we get to choose and say, wait a minute, let me pause. Right? Let me play this thing out. Let me play this out like 3 months down the line. Let me play this out like 4 months down the line. Let me play this out like 6, 7 months down the line. What does it look like? What does it feel like 7 months down the line? You're debating a relationship. You want to stay with that relationship. You want to leave that relationship. You don't know, but something is pulling you. Play in your mind. Play it out in your mind. Right? How does it feel in 3 months? See yourself with that person in 3 months. If things are exactly the way that they are right now in 3 months, do you want to stay in that relationship? If things are exactly the way that they are in 9 months, do you want to stay in that relationship, right? Stop using spirituality to accept pain, to accept less than fulfilling relationships, to accept less than things that bring us joy. We should be fully freaking living our lives, and things that fill us up. I don't care what it is that works for you. Everybody has their own outlets, but live your life for you and fully, truly doing what makes you happy. And work with the things that you are choosing. If you know you want kids, maybe get your ex frozen. If you know you want a husband and you want to start dating, you want to take this thing seriously, get a match, get a dating coach, get on, different apps. Do whatever you need to do. If you want more money, if you feel like you want to work towards it, but things are not happening as you would like, start where you are. Is there an opportunity somewhere else? Maybe there's more skills that you need. Maybe there's more people that you need to have access to. Find out about business grants, find out about business credits. Straight up plug right there, okay? If you know, you know. I'm actually with Miss Lane Bradley. She's so dope. MRS Laine Bradley. She's so phenomenal, guys. Like, she has just changed my entire perspective and just helped my business in ways that I cannot explain. I highly recommend you follow her, just for so many reasons and so many wealth, education, and knowing, and things that you would never know, from cars to your assets, to your home, to where you live, to your business, to your supplies, to investments, to angel investors, grants, business loans, business credit, so many opportunities that are out there, but you're sitting there stuck thinking things are not working, but you're just not asking the right questions. Ask God. That's all I did. Ask God. God, what's the next step that I can take that will get me closer to this vision that you've given me, right? You've given me this vision. So even though I don't know how it works and how it's going to work, you gave it to me, so therefore there has to be the results, and it can't not come back to me void, right? It is guaranteed love when it's from God, okay? It's not maybe, it's not possibly. Ask and you shall, whatsoever, you shall receive it, right? So we don't know how the heart works. Our heart is beating, our breath we're breathing. We're not doing it. You know how it works? You know how to function all that? Let me know. You know how? I don't know how the light works. I don't know how electricity works. I know I turn it on and off the switch. That's all I know. It works, right? So go to the manufacturer. Go to the creator. Oh God, you created this. You created all this. You created these trillions of cells. You created this face, this hair, this body, this mind, these words, this voice, this mouth. I know there is value. And may you use it for your glory in a way that inspires, heals, and blesses every single soul that can hear it. Because it's you, right? It is an honor to be God's representative in this physical suit, right? It is God that is coming through. And that's really the flex. When you tap into that, you're really in another level of higher, because now you're allowing God to do what God does. God labors on our behalf, literally. And then God will show up and give us the opportunity and the choices to be able to make the changes that are required and the habits that need to change in order for us to get to that next step. We're going to get those opportunities. And let me tell you this. Oh, this is what's so good about God. Even when we F that up, even when we mess up on those choices and opportunities and we don't get it right again, there is nothing we can do or say to change the I am of God in us. The I am of God in us, our spiritual DNA is perfect. There is absolutely nothing we can do to change it. We can delay it. We can delay the experience to get to our spiritual awakenings, right? We can delay it for sure. But one thing we can't do is take away what God has already done inside of us by divine design. And it's a nervous system. It's a system that God uses. It's a divine design on each and every one of our lives. And I would just ask that you trust that voice. Don't push it down when you hear that voice say, man, I wish I could do that. Man, I wish I could do, wow, that feels like it really hits home for me. That's something I would desire. Don't diminish or play down who you are and your desires and who you see as yourself in that mirror, because you're saying, oh, God will provide. Oh, God will allow it to happen. No, we are actually actively receiving and accepting that God is in action taking over our lives, which is allowing us to be able to have inspired action. It's going to feel good, the action that we're going to take. And that's how we know too that it's God, because it's going to feel like, wow, I feel so empowered. I feel so inspired. I feel fired up. This is definitely in alignment with everything that God wants for me. And that's how it shows up. So the more we lean into that, right? And even when it's uncomfortable, because change sucks. It sucks. It can be really, really like, oh, it feels like you're dying. It feels like something is tearing. And that's what it is. It's something tearing and ripping you apart, because it's a decision. We call that a decision. The definition of a decision means to the tearing off of something, the burning away of the previous, right? And so it actually destroys what was before and brings in something totally new the moment we decide that God can take over our lives. So I would just encourage you to get in partnership with God. Don't get in we hear people, people speak, but baby, don't follow because I'm gonna fall short, baby. I might not be able to give you everything that you need. You can't get all your satisfaction from a person. That's not what we're here to do for each other. We're not here to fulfill each other's every single need. That is God's work. And what we're looking for is on the inside of us. That soulmate is mating with our own soul. That's who we are on the inside. That God self within us that wants to birth and express itself divinely through us, right? And that's just everything. That's just it in its whole totality. And so when I express and I make fragrances and I express and I talk and I release this through my expression, my own divine self-expression, perfect self-expression, that's me, right? That's just allowing the great spirit, God's infinite spirit, to just be over me. The spirit of the living God is actually pulsating through me and allowing me to be the expression of it. I mean, that's something to get excited about, right? And so I'm just grateful. Thanks for you guys who have hung out with me this long, just to hear me get it all out. It feels really great because God has been working on me for a while now. And it's really powerful, the changes that I've seen, the impact that I've had on lives and on myself, and just being able to look into that mirror and tell that girl right there that I love her. That is the gift. And when you get there, God is awake. God is awake in you, and you will never turn back. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video as well as my commentary. Please be sure to drop me a comment, smash the heck out of that like button, and share. Guys, I want to give a big shout out to all of my new subscribers. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the channel. To all of my OGs, my day ones, my ride or dies, y'all already know what it is. Big up yourself. We in the building with it.